Ну все, коллеги, в полном составе.
Dear colleagues, looks like the round table is full. All the participants are here. We have overbooking. The number of participants is more than seats available. It's day 3. Let's finish on an optimistic mode. I welcome everyone. It's International Business Week. It's day 3. It's dedicated to work with investment. And our strategic session is called Successful Practices and Managing Changes in Investment Projects. No matter, as they say right now, there were a lot of obstacles, but the country is developing regardless, and the republic is developing. So as of now, there are more than 2,000 investment projects developed to the total value of 1 trillion rubles. But we understand that when we implement investment projects, there might be some challenges, some drawbacks, but we have a lot of foreign guests, people from other regions of Russia. Let's try to study their cases and success stories and try to find out, maybe streamline the tools which are offered to the investors, because each region, its country implements its own legislative initiatives, its own practices to facilitate the work of investors. Day after day, times are changing, and we need to introduce new tools. To start our strategic session, I would like to Rustem Avzalov to open it, the Minister of Entrepreneurship and Tourism. The minister is responsible for private businesses and developing investment projects. So regarding the experience implementing investment projects, please let's give the floor to Rustam. Greetings, dear guests in Bashkir language. Good day, dear friends. First of all, it's a pleasure that we have convened here, and it's an international meeting, international event. We have delegations from various countries, including those who are building our relations now, revisiting India. Turkey is with us. In Turkey, we already implement a lot of investment projects. We need to mention that the tendency of general transformation which is happening in the world, of course, sometimes it encourages us to get together to understand what we should do next, and that the International Business Week, with the slogan, the day after tomorrow, what is there in store for us, how we should build our relations and communications to move on, and to look a little bit ahead, what is required. Of course, together with those changes, the regions are changing, and they're changing their strategies, they're changing their foreign policy. I mean, in terms of those communications which we have with our foreign countries, far away and close former Soviet bloc. These are our good neighbors, and even those who were open for everyone, actually, even those who are not really friendly. And I would like to talk about the processes which are happening in Bashkortostan. And as Vadim mentioned, in the past, starting from 2019, we have been collecting statistics that we had a serious increase in investment, which was equal to 40% in the same period. If we take this index for the Russian Federation as a whole, it's 16% in Volga, 10% here. I think we occupy third place in the Volga region, Volga Federal region. There is a lot of investment and workplaces, and the amount of investment projects currently implemented in the Republic is quite large. Altogether, given the increase, the surplus in investment, it's a general policy which Bashkortostan is building, and today Republic is among the top 3 in terms of newly established industrial parks And a very important thing is that when SMEs can land in those territories and establish their production, streamline those processes. And here, in the examples, you can see those successful practices which were implemented. Well, of course, the priority task for the Republic, just like any region, any country, is to form a favorable climate for the business when there will be no administrative procedures which will be based on prompt reaction and multidimensional support by the government. Once in 2019 we started this mechanism as prioritization of investment projects. I mean the investment hour of the head of the region, and we started a very strong and efficient mechanism which is still implemented in Bashkortostan. And also a number of regions, about 6 or 7 of them, who have adopted the experience, I mean business sheriffs, local business sheriffs, in the given years, and we say that the average growth of investment was equal to 7%. We began to understand that we need some sort of transformation of investment legislation. And by doing so, we came up with the new legislation, and starting with June 1, as part of the strategy called Investment Leap, we started Investment Promotion and Protection Program. Very briefly, the main thing, we lifted the requirement. We canceled the requirement for the minimal deposit and also the confirmation of the source of finance. We don't need, what is important is your business idea. We are ready to support it and give measures of support. We don't care what the source of investment is or the amount. Number 2 is to establish a certain amount of workplaces. Previously, we had a criteria not less than 20. Right now, when we implement investment projects, we don't impose any kind of criteria in terms of headcount or the level of salary, amount of salary, average in the region. Again, this is not available. And there was another parameter, whether the efficiency of budget is achieved. Well, we also removed it. So today, for any investor who enters Bashkortostan with investment project, the doors are completely open and there are all the opportunities. Previously, you had to do a lot of paperwork to receive the status of priority project. What we do now, all you need to do is to submit a small, relatively brief declaration when investors come to the investment hour meeting held by the head of the Bashkortostan. Most important thing is to receive the land plot without biddings, without competition for the project. 30 days before, 30 days after the investment hour meeting, the agreement should be signed. So this kind of transformations we made for the business to feel comfortable while entering the market. And I want to mention that one of the important roles which work for the comfortable climate, SMEs in the GDP, there is 27% of GDP. It comes from SMEs in the region, and we should take into account, we should embrace them. It's a huge amount of people. Nowadays, I think it's about 600,000 people who work in SMEs, small and mid-sized enterprises. It's more than a quarter of labor-active citizens. Speaking about the Institute of Support of Business Sheriffs, it's a very important component because today, when we started it, we understood that it's the land, it's the municipalities where we should form the comfortable climate as a measure of support for businesses. It's like a navigator, which helps an investor to go in the right direction, to receive measures of support. And today it's a very serious functionality. We have business sheriffs here with us, and I'm sure they will share their experience. And of course, business support, business escorting is make sure that the projects are supported by business sheriffs. We have already reviewed about 3,500 projects. Every Thursday in every municipality, they hold the entrepreneur hour meeting. Same happens in Ufa, the capital. The head of the republic, Mr. Radi Habirov, has his own meeting where he reviews, he gives priority to investment projects. Actually, this takes us to the new level, and the most important thing here is how we need to be in a direct dialogue with investors. There are quite a lot of examples. You can see them in the screen when people use subsidies to buy agricultural machinery, and also municipal program when we, as a minister, together with the municipalities, we implement programs. They support startups in their cities and towns. They reimburse expenses associated with startup activity. Once we established this, we thought that we should monitor this. What is the progress of implementation? As a part of digital transformation, we developed a subsystem which is in the center of the Republic management. It allows us to assess the current state of the business projects, to track them, to control the amount of investment, and we can also see how the workplaces are established. It's an interactive dashboard. We see how it's working, and we can break that down by municipalities, by cities. I think one of the most important component as the measure of support of infrastructure is the Corporation of Development of Bashkortostan, which is available today and which operates very efficiently. I would like to mention that it's a very important work which happens in the format as a single point of contact. It optimizes, it expedites, it makes the project processing quicker, and they offer some ready-made cases so that to have the paved road, not to invent something new, but have some successful cases, adapt them for the Republic, for the territory, because the projects are multifaceted, multidimensional. The corporation actively works together with the business sheriffs, because without it, it's not possible. An investment project doesn't mean Ufa necessarily, not the capital only. It's the whole territory of Bashkortostan. It's filled with various projects, and given that Bashkortostan is various and diverse, starting from agriculture up to industry, tourism. So locally, our business sheriffs and the heads of municipalities, they know what kind of projects are demanded and what should be implemented in the first place in their regions. As an example, I would like to mention, given the new foreign political priorities, we began to strengthen our foreign economic ties. As an example, I cannot but mention Belarus, because today a project was already implemented, which is already available, and we have 4 new projects which will exist at part as our cooperation. And also, the proof is similar huge events which were held in the Republic, the Forum of Regions of Belarus and Bashkortostan. We hope that we have structurally moved ahead, and we hope that the new forum, which will be held next year, Russia-Kazakhstan, will give a very serious impulse for the development of relations with our brotherhood, Republic of Kazakhstan. I should also mention the sphere of tourism, given that the ministry today actively works in this area as well. A lot of investment was applied to the Republic this year, but it's associated with the fact that the tourist traffic is growing and that the forum we talked about this. The growth of tourist traffic is not our benefit, that the circumstances permit that. The coronavirus epidemic and external pressure, people choose to go for recreation inside Russia, to travel in various regions. And we have measures of support at the federal level, at the level of the Republic. The infrastructure is improved, and I think you can see that we have managed to attract quite a significant amount of investment. And that's not easy. I mean, that's 150 projects in the sphere of tourism to establish modular accommodation, and I mean grants. It's great that tourism is actively involved. Ufa is transforming to the 450th anniversary the tourism code, which is in the industry of hospitality project. And of course, we see that with the help of state support, the number of buildings will increase by 730 items. And when the new facility appears, you need to develop it. We now have a map of events, new routes, and of course there are such projects which today are implemented. When we build close ties with Belarus, in the sphere of tourism we also have very close ties. This is one of the unique projects which it's like a case implemented by Bashkortostan. It's people of the Silver Age, as we call it. This project is meant for the elderly, promoting traveling among the elderly population. The geography of support is quite various, but those 150 projects, they are diverse. But even if you look at the map, it covers the whole Republic in a certain way. But those districts, Nurimanovsky, Beloretsky, Burzyansky, these are the regions where today there is a very serious tourism, traffic of tourists and downhill skiing. And we can say that the projects of investors will be successfully implemented in the Republic. We are ready to cooperate. We are ready to open all of our doors and windows for the investors to come here. And we will create all the required conditions to implement your business ideas. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rustem. Speaking about the measures of support, when the management team in 2018 changed, I remember there was, it seemed to us there was a slogan to make Bashkortostan the most comfortable region for private business. Many people were saying, well, it is just a slogan. When they were introducing the Institute of Business Sheriffs, people were quite ironic about this. And in St. Petersburg Economic Forum, when we talked with the president of Business Russia, Alexei Repishev, remember you've mentioned that, but it's kind of funny, but we understand that in those years, all those tools, they have actually, they have taken off and they gave result. The more tasks we set, the more intentions we have to fulfill them, it's actually working. the amount of investment projects which are currently implemented, the approach we have for the investors. Well, it gives its own fruit. But what we need to do, we need to streamline, we need to upgrade. Investors have some questions. This has to be done. And here, again, we have our own fruit. Now, let's get Faisal Al-Khan online. He is the president of Faisal Al-Khan Group, the president of Khan International Group's advisor to the Ministry of Education of the state of Uttar Pradesh, India. We're interested in the investment experience of India. Each state is unique. They built their investment. Faisal, would like to hear from you. How do you see, how can you possibly assist? You spend a lot of time in Russia. How can we possibly implement your experience in the country and in the Republic? What are weaknesses? What are strong points? Thank you so much.
Добрый день.
Good,
Namaste. Сначала
good day, everyone. So I would like to thank to the head of the Republic of Bashkortostan, to the deputy of the government of the Republic of Bashkortostan, Mr. Nazarov, for the very warm invitation and meeting. And now I will speak English because it's going to be more comfortable for me. Дамы и господа,
Bashkortostan is a land of love, hospitality, and partnership. It's my second time in Ufa, and I feel like home. Every time when I visit Bashkortostan, the people here are really, really very supportive, very hospitable. Last time I came along, this time I bring a big delegation from India, and I promise next year we're going to have a bigger delegation and a stand in this International Business Week. I represent state Uttar Pradesh, which is the largest state of India and my favorite state of India. I would like to tell you something about my state and also the projects and also the support which we provide for the investors who come to invest in Uttar Pradesh. So, Uttar Pradesh lies in the northern part of India. You can see on the top. The capital of Uttar Pradesh is Lucknow. It is a very traditional state. It is famous for its culture. It is famous for its food and is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. This is our head of the state, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, a very ambitious man. Since he came into power, he transformed Uttar Pradesh to one of the most developing states in the country. Under the leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, they both work towards for better India. Now, Destination Uttar Pradesh, defining long-term sustainable growth. We have the highest consumer base in the country, 250 million population, and another 200 million population in the neighboring states lies near Uttar Pradesh. We have a zero tolerance towards crime. It's one of the easiest states to do business. We focus on a world-class infrastructure. We are the home of 38% of India's expressways. Our state is the only state to have 5 international airports, 3 existing and 2 upcoming. We are leading in logistic and warehousing hub. We are also top ancillary base. Policy-based governments we have, where we work on 25 plus sector specified policy. We attract incentive benchmark to the best in the country. The land availability which we have for investor, we have a huge land bank at key economic zones and along expressways corridors. Fast-track land allotment in 15 days for mega projects. Geographic information system 11 land bank integrated with government of Indian portal. FX collaborations with our all partners. Destination Uttar Pradesh, robust infrastructure. As you can see in the map, we are very well connected through different states. The major catchment area of Eastern and Western dedicated freight corridor falling in Uttar Pradesh and intersecting at Dadri, Greater Noida. Uttar Pradesh has the largest rail network in India, spanning over 10,000 miles. Uttar Pradesh boasts state-of-the-art expressways ensuring seamless connectivity, 13 expressway. Only state to have 5 international airports, just like I mentioned. 7 airports made operational under regional connectivity scheme for domestic connectivity and another 8 airports in pipeline. India first inland waterways is operational in Uttar Pradesh, 1,100 kilometer Haldia-Varanasi track. India first Freeds village is spread over 100 acres at Varanasi coming up. Logistic hubs emerging across MP. Destination Uttar Pradesh, ease of doing business. We minimizing regulatory compliance burden, abolition of license renewal, self-certification, and auto-renewals, merging of license, labor code reform. Total 3,773 compliances of 60+ departments have been reduced as a part of RCB 2.0 incentives. UP has successfully minimized 100% self-identified compliance without total 907 acts, regulation, rules of 27 departments have been abolished Uttar Pradesh. I will not go into details because we have a very, very big presentation. I would like to be in short. Destination Uttar Pradesh, enabling policy framework. More than 20 amendment sector specified policies to attract investments. First is food processing, defense and aerospace manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, pharmaceutical, handloom and textile, dairy, civil aviation, information technology, data center, maintenance, repairs and overhaul. Startup, EV manufacturing policy, solar policy, bioenergy policy, private industrial park schemes, MSME policy, tourism policy, warehousing and logistic, film policy, policy development. Attractive incentives which we are offering to the investors are land rebate, capital subsidy, state goods and service tax refund, capital interest subsidy, infrastructure interest subsidy, stamp duty exemptions, electric duty exemptions, employees provident fund reimbursement, transportations, R&D incentive, and skill development. The sector which I already mentioned you. Now we can go into a little bit in deep. The defense and aerospace sector, there is an opportunities about technological park, arm and ammunition manufacturing, drone, UV manufacturing and testing facilities, MRO centers, technical textiles manufacturing, testing centers and R&D labs, aircraft, helicopter manufacturing. If we go to the aviation and MRO sector, the policy support which we have is concession under regional connectivity scheme, incentive for maintenance, repair and overhaul, 10 airports, airstrips operationals, airports proposed in 8 cities, only state to have 5 international airports. Then we go to logistics sector. You can see that we are very well connected to inland waterways, multimodal terminal at Varanasi, multimodal logistic hub in Dadri, multimodal transportation hub. Then we have an IT sector. Uttar Pradesh is as largest labor market is known for the IT hub of North India. State holds 6th position in software exports. The state currently has operational IT parks in Noida, Meerut, Lucknow, Kanpur, Prayagraj, another IT park in Agra, which shortly become operational. 3 other parks are being developed in Varanasi, Bareilly, Gorakhpur cities. Then we come to the electronics center. 65% of the mobile phones manufactured in India are from Uttar Pradesh. 37 mobile handsets manufacturers operate from Uttar Pradesh. 55% components manufacturers operating in India are operating from Uttar Pradesh. We have a vision to make Uttar Pradesh an attractive destination for global semiconductor unit. Special benefit over above GOI benefits proposed under new electronics manufacturing policy. And we have key incentive. We have a capital subsidy of 15% of FCI, 5% internet subsidy, 100% stamp duty exemption, land rebate at 25% in Madhyanchal and Paschimanchal, 50% in Bundelkhand and Purvanchal, 3.0 plus 1.0 purchasable floor area, 50% exemption of electricity duty for 10 years. Then we have data sector, data center sector. Then we also have startup sector. I will send you this slide if somebody wants later to know more about these sectors. Then we have my favorite sector is the tourism sector. We have investment opportunities in budget hotels, heritage hotels, resorts, sports resorts, tented accommodations, adventure tourism, amusements, water, theme parks, convention centers, river cruises, wellness tourism, film city. We also promote regional and spiritual tourism. It is very, very popular in India. It's growing. We also promote craft, handloom, and textile tourism. We also have ecotourism and film tourism. Then we have Handloom and Textile Center. We have another key incentive also. Then we have Agro-allied sector. Then we have Renewable Energy sector, where India commitment in COP26 summit in Glasgow includes increase its India renewable energy generation capacity of 500 gigawatts. Uttar Pradesh has capacity to produce 28 gigawatt of renewable energy, including 2.2 gigawatt capacity for solar energy. State has total tie-up capacity 39,191 megawatts, out of which 30,000 megawatt is currently operational and balance is likely to be commissioned in next 3 to 4 years. Then we have electric vehicle sector. There is also, we have highest share of EV sales in 2021 with a number of units sold across all segments. Largest beneficiary under FAME 1 and 2 schemes, enabling ecosystem under for EV and battery manufacturing under UP EV manufacturing and mobility policy. Then we have pharma healthcare sector, which is very important. 3-tier public healthcare infrastructure comprising community health center, primary health center and sub-centers. State has more than 70% market share of national pharma sales. Vibrant ecosystem with leading R&D centers. Medical device park coming up 100 acres in Greater Noida along Yamuna Expressway. Education and skill development. We have the largest youth population in India. 56% population in working age group. 72 university, 6,000 colleges, 4,000 ITI, polytechnics. Premier academic institutes, IIM Lucknow, IIT Kanpur, IIT BHU, AKTU Lucknow, MNNIT Prayagraj. We have a lot of opportunity in skill development institute, exchange programs, academic collaboration. Well, we have a key economic zones, which is the Dadri, Noida, Ghaziabad, Aligarh, Etawah, Kanpur, Unnao, Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, Yamuna Expressway, Prayagraj, Varanasi, Mirzapur. Now I'd like to go into Investor Connect framework, how the system works. We have an online incentive management system, which we call it OIMS. We have Nivesh Sarthi, which means Nivesh is investment. Sarthi is a support which we provide to them. Investor relationship management system, Nivesh Mitra. Nivesh is investment, Mitra is a friend. So investment friend, which is a single window clearance system. We also hold a Global Investor Summit in 2023, this year, where more than 78 countries came and participated. It was attended by the Prime Minister of India along with the President of India as well. How the online incentive management system work. Online application, the key features of this online incentive management systems are online application, filing, tracking and responding to department's queries. Letter of comfort to be issued through portal. Separate logins for officials to respect nodal agencies, administrative departments, concerned departments and senior GOUP officials. Monitoring dashboards for nodal agencies, administrative departments, Chief Minister Office and GOUP officials. Uploading and forwarding agenda, appraisal, notes for committee meetings by nodal agency, uploading GOS and approve minutes of committee meetings by nodal department. Now a short introduction about the investor relationship management system, which is called Nivesh Bharti. The key features are online intent filing and MOUs. Digital signed MOUs will be available on investor login and in printed form. Query reporting and responding system to understand and timely dissemination of information investor. Monitoring dashboards for administration departments and magistrates, CM office. Investor dashboards for showing entire engagements, one place. Now we come back to digital single window clearance system. The key features of single system, as you can see here, you can know your approvals and application procedure. We have a centralized information availability, common application form. We have single sign-on technology, We also have online application document submissions and consolidated fees for payment options. You will get automated SMS, email notification for the progress of what you are doing and how the progress is going. We have third-party verification of certificates, NOCs, license. We have online status tracking, digitally signed certificate, NOC. We have data analytics, dashboards, MIS, grievance, redressal, and user feedback. Now, I would like to show you a small video about my state. Can we please play the video? Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to represent my state, Uttar Pradesh. I would like to tell you that we are planning to have a forum next year in India. We would like to invite you. The more detailed information I will provide you through Mr. Rustam Afzalov. We also have a planned visit. We are planning to have a visit for Bashkortostan next year also. We plan to have a big delegation for Bashkortostan to strengthen our ties with this beautiful region. I would like to tell that there is a big opportunity between Bashkortostan, India, and my state. I want that everyone who wishes to come to work in our country, in our state, we are more than welcome. We are more than happy to show you our hospitality because we have seen yours. It is our time to show you our hospitality. We want you to taste our food. We want you to come to see our culture. We want you to see our beautiful places. We are very happy to be here every time in Bashkortostan. My friends are very happy as well. And it is our pleasure to be here. And we will be coming again and again. Thank you for your love and thank you for your hospitality. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Thank you so much. I think we have seen some very beautiful places, just like National Geographic. But before I comment, Mr. Khan, I would like to ask you, you've mentioned that there are opportunities for cooperation of our region. But speaking about Bashkortostan, in your opinion, just three main items, three main areas which we could cooperate, Bashkortostan and your state. Most important is tourism, I think. A huge potential is in tourism. I will speak Russian. And education is also, because Bashkortostan, more than 2,000 Indian students are studying in Bashkortostan and Ufa in the medical university. It means that we trust your education. The students who study here, they are very happy. They are very grateful. And another thing I see here, sports, I think is also very interesting because you are very professional and we have very good athletes, but we need your experience. We need your support so that we could also be like you. So I think these three sectors which we could cooperate in, but we can do a lot together. This is just the beginning. Well, I think, Rustam, I'm not sure if I'm not sure about long living of Indians. I'm not sure if we can follow, we can match. Thank you so much.
for a very interesting and amazing presentation. We were just involved in your processes, and I see that we have some similarities in our processes and work. There is no secret that, of course, in our republic our republic has a very good experience, and as yesterday with our Premier Minister discussed the mission to India, and I hope that we will go forward to your country. It's difficult to say what similarities and what joint points we will have, but we are started this, and I'm sure that we will have the outcomes. And we are interested in India. There is no. So the Republic of Bashkortostan is one of the biggest regions and advanced regions. It has a lot of interesting experience that can share with other regions. So we will start the organization of joint businesses. And I would also like to say thank you to everyone, to every person who is working here. You're so cool. I love you. Thank you very much for amazing Business International Week. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Thank you once again. Thank you. Taking into account that our mission is growing, we are going now to Iran and China, and I'm sure that we will come to India. And I think that we need to make cooperation and communication with friendly countries. And I've heard very interesting information about technoparks, about laboratories, that it's opened for the opportunities for the residents. So in this sphere, you have a very great experience, and I think this is a very good chance to support investors. So we can create. So you created the networking, as I said, in the part of logistical models and concessional models. I think that we need to finish somehow to work it out fully, and I'm sure that all these parts will be worked out and finished. And I would like to say sorry. I'm sorry. I started to talk in English, then I shift to Russian. I'm so sorry. I live here, and I believe that I have a Russian soul. So thank you very much. I love you very much. Thank you. Today we have the General Director of Salik Service. This is a Turkish company. We have Aykut Balcıoğulları. We know that Turkey is a strategic company, and we have some businesses and joints to go together. We know that we have some businesses that are starting in Turkey together with Russia, and how can we enter the Turkish market and develop the company? To start with, I would like to say thank you to all organizers and participants. This is not the first time we are participating in this event, and everywhere we're getting more pleasure. I'm here as an investor. We are working in this sector of metallurgic processing, and this sector is developing always, all the investments. This is what we need to develop in our sector. We're trying to work with the Russian market and creating our plants and factories. It's very important to say that the previous forum had a very interesting meetings. That was a discovery for me that we have a very interesting and hospitable Republic of Bashkortostan. So we actually invited the head of the Republic of Bashkortostan and to Turkey. And I come here because I feel like I'm home, and I feel like I'm just the resident of this area. I'm so joyful that people are so sincere and honest. I'm so glad that we can discuss in full details all the questions. Yesterday we met a Bashkir company and we've made the agreement with this company, and we will work with this company and make the parties and elements. We will sell these parts in Turkey and develop this factory in Turkey and develop this business. What about the opportunities of investments? How this works in Turkey? As this is our topic of today's roundtable. So the investor from the beginning, before he started investing, just when he started with his inquiry, he can get some preferences and some governmental support. When he made the investment, he can get more. So he can get 4 million tourist liras, and then he can get even more money. So the most investments get regional investments, and depending on what region will be located your factory. In this case, for example, I represent the Bursa area. It's very close to Izmir, to agency. So because there are focused all the sectors of car factories and all the investment projects in car manufacturing are focused there. So Bursa is #1 for of the level of the investments in Turkey. As we have a lot of investors, so in our region we have the discounts as free of some taxes. There are some regions we have less investments, so then to increase the working places, the investors, so the state gives more subsidies and privileges and support. It's not only some free of taxes preferences, there are some additional governmental support, prolonged tax-free preferences, and if there is some critical question you have with your investor, it's a very, very important issue, because you can get incredible package of support because they have a very serious discuss on taxes, and you will have get the taxes on the equipment that you have in your factory. Moreover, 70% of the income you will not pay for anyone. You will just save, you will just keep it in yourself because you will have a discount for income. There will be no insurance charges because the government will take these charges, but it depends on what region you are making your business. There are some strategic regions in Turkey where the level of support of the state is just very high. There is the fifth and the fourth package of support, which encourages the investors, but they're developed in a very low level. In my projects, I orient on the fourth and fifth project. If there are some logistic processes,
if the southern eastern regions are not of your interest, if you're interested in working closest to Istanbul, the amount of discounts and preferences is much lower, and the return of investment is extended in time. And if in region 4 and region 5 the ROI may be equal to a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, in central region or in Istanbul region, this could be 10 years, 12 years ROI. If you don't have your own company, you will need to open your company in Turkey, and it takes, if there is foreign involvement, about 15 days. If you have an existing company and if you are in the board of directors, within 1 day you can change the content of the board of directors of your company. I can provide slides to the participants to have more detailed information. If you invest for 100,000 liras, you may receive from the state 60%, 60,000 liras you may return. Doesn't mean that they will pay as a subsidy. The state will give you the money back in the form of tax returns, returns from social security, from social component of salaries. You will be relieved of supporting. You won't have to support the minimal wages to the population. And I would like to say that compared to last year, I analyzed the investment situation here. Me and Mr. Tansikuzhin, we often discuss what kind of novelties are introduced in Bashkortostan, and I think that Bashkortostan is becoming very much similar to Turkey, given that the region is inside Russia. Maybe it's not the centralmost in terms of proximity to the capital, but it's at a very important crossroads and arteries. What you need to do, you need to make the conditions as favorable as possible so that they could feel at home. Thank you so much. Indeed, the model to differentiate, I think it's very good. When in agriculture we've mentioned that we need to support companies who just take subsidies, and maybe we could differentiate that by districts. It's a very good example. The region is becoming more and more comfortable. It's really so, and the figures prove that. Compared to the model which Rustem mentioned, promoting and supporting investment, just 60 days for everything, and that's it. So the investors who use those preferential measures, and when the state wants to help, they come up with more and more mechanisms. The business takes land and without doing anything. And I think the most important is bilateral responsibility, so that the measures which contradict with general rules, when the land plots are given without any kind of bidding, and I think Mr. Baljiguli Aykut, I would like to thank you for this support and for this, that you are spreading the word in the territory. We have Mr. Shakutin in Belarus, who actively promote the interests of Bashkortostan in Belarus. He has positive experience working with us. And right now, we have Mr. Mikhail Vagaitsev, who is a representative of the Tourism Corporation, RF, the corporation which tries to develop the industry. Mikhail, we would like to hear the measures of support from you, the measures of support of financial instruments of tourism. You have a whole big pool, but many investors say that the entry point is quite serious, 120 places, and the amount of investment should be quite high. How are you completing the projects? Maybe you're ready to start from small projects, and in a long-term perspective, maybe you will be able to do that. Dear colleagues, good day. My name is Mikhail Vagaitsev, representing Tourism RF Corporation. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, and my personal thanks go to Rustem, because he's our ambassador in the region. And as the way he tells us about Bashkortostan, I'm in love with Bashkortostan. No one else can describe all the beauties, those fascinating locations. I mean, tourism. I want us to talk more about tourism. And the locations that you're showing, they're just purely fascinating. And the more tourist facilities you have, the better. But I need to answer your question in the first place. Then I will tell about our institute briefly, the Institute of Development. Yes, you are right. And we need to implement not less than 120 seats or places. It means that we have the subsidized loans are given. The discounted loans depend on the capacity of your tourist facility. for example, you should build a hotel not less than 100, and that could accommodate not less than 120 persons to receive support and discounted loans. Famous brands, I'm not going to advertise them right now, and our brands also, they said that everything, if a hotel is less than 100 residents, this will be family business, and it does not generate multiplication effect. If we want to develop tourism, we need to build quality hotels, quality resort with 3 or 4 star rating. We should provide high quality service, attract foreign tourists, because here we are together with our foreign partners, and I'm sure that the majority of our partners want to see our Russian winter. Yes, you haven't seen our Russian winter. We will come. Please give us high quality service. If you give us 3-star hotels, 4-star hotels, it's okay. We will accommodate. And Tourism RF Corporation, which I represent, the entry point is 120 rooms. The investor needs 10% in order to implement a resort or a hotel. The rest of the 90% will be provided by Tourist RF. We have 3 measures of support. First of all, we also participate in the charter capital, and between 20 to 30% of the charter capital will be provided by us together with the owner. 70% will be received as a loan with discounted tax, Decree 141, according to which we can allocate subsidized loans from the banks with a discounted APR. It's below which is below the central bank exchange rate, and people believe in it because the APR is lower than the market one. Number 2 is discounted APR. Number 3 is associated with resorts. A resort may not appear out in the blue sky. It needs roads, it needs gas, electricity, utilities. No matter how great the location is, but we need to provide the necessary infrastructure. And here, thanks to the fact that Tourism RF Corporation develops its own projects, we have rules 218 of the government of Russia, which allows us to build the supporting infrastructure using the expenses, using the assets of the Ministry of Construction in Russia. They subsidize, and the region ensures this infrastructure. And by doing so, a corporation and investor build supporting infrastructure. The government helps, and together we implement a tourist facility. A tourist facility is not just a hotel which operates. It means trade, it means transport, catering, routes. So multiplication effect of tourist activities is huge. So me, from my side, I'm always open 24/7. Tourism RF is always ready to look at the projects together with investors. We actively cooperate with the Republic. We have warm relations. Please come to the Republic, come to us. We will find the sources of finance together. We will determine this development strategy. You don't have to invest money right now. Do I have to invest money right now? No, you don't have to do this. Now we need to begin design, then construction. So the monies are extended in the period for 3 or 4 years, and our corporation participates on a long-term basis. By doing so, we can implement high-quality projects with good quality. Mikhail, I have a question. In terms of construction, can foreign investors participate in the construction of hotels? Are there any restrictions? Because as we understand, for example, partners from Turkey, they have quite large competences and they have financial interests, but can they participate in your projects? Not they should. I think there are no restrictions. We are operating in the form of joint stock company. You need to start a Russian company which will receive investment. At the same time, there are various tools, and we are actively cooperating, including colleagues from Turkey. I will not advertise them now. A lot of tourist operators, they have interest in the Russian market, and already 3 companies, they signed the so-called technical supervision contracts, as we call them, with our investors. They signed them at home. Our investors went to Turkey. They signed under the conditions of the legislation of Turkey, and now these contracts will be adapted under the Russian legislation, and we welcome that. The better the service, the more interesting companies we have, the better for the industry. Regarding the point of contact, is there any chance to reduce the number of rooms or the number of residents for the prospective investment project? Well, 120 residents, that's provided in the Decree 141 of the government. It allows you to attract discounted loans, but if we or the investor, 50 by 50, we are in the minority and the investor is a majority investor. So if we manage to find the investments ourselves, the credit line with discounted loans give us a good impulse and good financial lever, because the market of construction materials is quite turbulent. The prices either grow or go down. The APR again has grown up, and so not taking the loan money when they are below the key percentage rate. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Regarding what you are asking, whether the amount of rooms could be less than 120, well, this decree, this statement was approved just lately. There is one thing there. Now we can build aquatic parks, water parks, ski resorts. The development program of the credits, now the scope is larger. Previously, we couldn't build a water park. The investor couldn't receive discounted money for a theme park or a water park. Now, the Decree 141 provides for that. We can receive discounted money, and if the marketing philosophy is approved, we can do it easily. And you know, we are talking about looking. The main slogan of the International Business Week is looking into the day after tomorrow. You have a lot of experience working in tourism. How do you see the tourism infrastructure? In terms of tourism, the day after tomorrow, we're very optimistic, because in the past 3 years, the Russian market, in terms of tourism, it has went upside down. There was a revolution. The amount of projects which we are implementing is just hitting the ceiling. Tourism RF Corporation participates in more than 100 projects with a total amount of investment more than 500 billion rubles. This will be implemented the day after tomorrow. Well, I'm sure all of them are either designed or in the construction process. The banks believe in them, and the most optimistic forecast is for the day after tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mikhail. We had the director of Department of Interaction with Investors, Corporate RF. I think the future is bright because the potential is huge. We have Mr. Kovalenko, the head of the Department of Legal Promotion for Capital Investment of the Ministry of Economic Development of Russian Federation. Dear Rustem, dear participants of the session, I would like to greet you on behalf of the Ministry of Economic Development of Russia. Today, we will share the practice how to promote, how to attract investments into national economy and how to secure them. So, what makes this mechanism interesting? First, stabilization comment, disclaimer. It means that the legislation will remain unamended as of the date of the conclusion of contract. A company concludes a contract. Let's imagine that in 3 years, the profit tax will increase. In this case, the company is secured against the raises in the tax rate. And the tax rate will be fixed as per the moment of signing of contract. And you are secured against delayed commissioning. And the investor should be insured with the necessary infrastructure. The investor builds the infrastructure using its own funds, and once commissioned, thanks to the taxes, the expenses will be compensated. Also, the percentage for loans will be paid which were attracted for the project. Starting from 2020, we have concluded 63 contracts with a total amount of investments of 3 trillion rubles. As a result, we will establish 55,000 workplaces. Speaking about Bashkortostan, in the region we have already concluded 3 contracts. The total amount of investment, including VAT, is 150 billion rubles, and there will be 5,000 workplaces established. I hope that in 2024 we will receive more requests from investors. And I would like to say that there are 2 types of contracts, regional and federal. As part of the contract, the agent is the party to the contract is the region. All the measures of support will be regional. So stabilization will be as per the regional government. And the taxes will be paid to the regional budget. Speaking about the federal, here we will have both support from the federal center and from the region. So here the federal legislation is added and federal taxes which serve as the point of reimbursement. So the contract is concluded with the Russian legal entity. The investment project should be new. Here we are guided by the construction authorization and the document of allocation of budget. Most important that it is approved by the authorized person. The name of the project, the amount of investment, the deadline will be provided. The principle of novelty: first the company receives construction authorization, then within half a year they should make a decision about the budget. And starting from this point, the country has 1 year to conclude the contract and to send it to the Ministry of Investment of Development of Russian Federation. The budget should be 200 million rubles for regional, for federal 750 million rubles, depending on the sphere of economy. This contract covers all the spheres except for gambling, alcohol and cigarette, production of oil and gas, financial organization, and also residential buildings, multi-story residential buildings. Regarding the stabilization disclaimer, I would like to specify that all the spheres of economy, they don't stabilize in automatic way. The region or the federal center adopts a law which contains a list which the investor, when they file an application, they can choose. The maximum stabilization period is 20 years. It means that the legislation will act as of the date of signing. About reimbursement of costs, I would like to say that by types of reimbursement, this could be power, utility, digital, communal. This could be infrastructure may be broken into supplementary. One should understand the difference. The supporting infrastructure means that it will be used by the investor only. It will be in the property, and up to 50% of the property may be reimbursed by the government to the investor. Another type of infrastructure which the investor gives to the property of the government, it will be used both by the investor and by the government and by other persons. This kind of infrastructure, the amount of reimbursement may be equal to 100%, and the term of reimbursement is 10 years. There could be subsidies here or tax discounts. It's up to the investor to choose. Also, I would like to briefly about the client. It takes 45 days to conclude a contract. You need to make an application through an online system. All the documents are in electronic form. The WebRF is the organization. It reviews the application and it makes a conclusion. The subject reviews the investment project, and this is the only detail which I would like to mention, which is worthwhile assessing prior to because the mechanism is based on application. If you follow the criteria, we are obliged to fulfill the requirements. So you should look at the document and you should see which requirements were met by the regional. Once you receive it, then the ministry, the contract should be signed by the region, by the investor, and by the federal forces. This is when the project starts. At the end of my presentation, I would like to share some new measures of support by the ministry. This would be a useful tool both for representatives of investors. With the help of this portal, you can find out the main information about all the existing programs supervised by the ministry, and also look at the legislation which you should follow. And also there are some contact details of experts who can provide consultations. Thank you so much. Semyon Kovalenko. Thank you very much for your great presentation. These are great tools. We have our own one, and we should look which one matches your expectations better. And we have Artur Amanbayev, the Deputy of Land Relations of Bashkortostan. Artur, same question to you regarding implementation of investment projects. So there is a institution of authorized persons, and there are a lot of questions regarding land that the entrepreneurs are facing. For example, changing the status of the land from agricultural to recreational. So how do you help? How do you see what could be the mechanism of implementation of those investment projects to resolve the land issues? We understand that there are a lot of those, but Good day, dear participants of our session as part of International Business Week. I would like to say that, the status of land, we are looking for the ways how to cut the procedures, how to streamline them, how to remove administrative barriers. About 8 years ago, a decision to transfer the land, to change the status from agricultural into recreational was taken by the government, and I wouldn't say that it was taking a lot of time. We had to, check to put all the dots, and the Ministry of Land and Property Affairs previously was the one who approved, but then we took up the business and we tried to simplify it. And speaking about tourism and foreign economic situation, we have a need to develop internal tourism, and we have taken up the course of going away to popularize organized recreation, going away from unorganized recreation. And we know that the potential is huge in Bashkortostan based on the character and the type of recreational facilities. Every one of you who have been to the Republic, all of you know that there are natural, man-made, anthropogenic heritage, and people come back very often. But as whenever you want to build something, you need to resolve land issues. Now the procedure was simplified, and depending on the status, and last year in Bashkortostan we adopted a procedure which regulates how to establish the status, how to your land plot, how to make sure that the status of your land is recreational, historical heritage, especially important, especially critical lands, preserved land, how to act, where to go to, and every step of the executive authorities, what one should do so that the land plot you are interested in, if it belongs to some other status, how to change it into the status recreational, for example, or preserved. If all those bodies which are involved, do they understand all the steps? Well, if we take the year before last year, at the federal legislation provided for everything necessary, but your question is right, whether each department knows what to do. Now it's all transparent, which documents you need to provide the investor, what kind of documents are expected at municipalities. All this comes to the relevant commission, which is responsible for changing the status. And we, the Ministry of Ecology and Natural Use, and they see if they can allocate a land plot for your project. And I think people, you have to have experience, reading specified maps, how many steps you have to walk, and by assigning those, it's not enough to indicate the relevant legislation, but it's important to help people read the documents. We have experience transferring the preserved land into recreational lands. It's already working, and Azad, speaking about changing the status of land into recreational, well, how much time does it take so that the investors who understand that they are ready to invest. They may be candidates for a grant. It may take several weeks. So how make sure that the progress is quick? The program is regulated by the government, and there is a time frame regulated by the government, and the government has even given us a chance to make amendments to the territorial planning. I mean, the plot plan. The deadline and the procedure has been simplified. I think it will take a lot of time. This is a very huge subject. If the investor wants to do everything quick, and I'm ready to invest, I need to attract a relevant organization. If the investor is ready to invest, this procedure may take between 2 to 3 months. The investor says, we are ready to participate, but give us, it's ready-made, we will invest in construction. We usually welcome investors who are willing to do the construction and don't want to do the paperwork. And this is when Law 44 comes in, which increases the timeline on accepting the certificate. And it's not a fact that this land plot, that you will win this land plot at the bid. That's what Rustem said. And we're perfecting the mechanism how to provide land plots without trade, without competition. To the interested investors in the sphere of tourism, we have approved this procedure, and we have made changes to the law in the sphere of social and cultural sphere. We included also tourism. This allowed us to provide land plots without trade to the interested parties. And I have already mentioned, I will not repeat, the criteria have also been. The main thing is just your desire to implement your project, and of course money. We're not looking at money, we're not looking at deposits. Previously, you were to verify that you have the required amount of money. Now you don't have to do that. We also have the Deputy Minister of Economy of Udmurtia Republic, Mr. Bratuhin. How Udmurtia, I think, how do you protect investors? I remember when Alexander Prechalov just took up his post, the entrepreneurs initiative was quite high, and Mr. Khomachev was there, who also worked in Udmurtia. Are you promoting? Do you have any weaknesses? Have you streamlined? Udmurtia is also developing at a huge pace. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this event. This is a very important subject we're discussing. Of course, Udmurtia development is ongoing, and we are at the level of legislation, and in terms of attracting investors, we're trying to be among the top regions. We're trying to update the laws which prevent investors from investing, which require unnecessary documents to be submitted. We're trying to reduce paperwork, and also we made some changes in the sphere of tourism. You can get the land plot without bidding, without competition. We removed the required threshold. How do we work with investors? Very briefly, just like other regions, we have the Corporation of Development of Udmurtia region. It's a single point of contact philosophy. All investors go through the Corporation of Development of Udmurtia region. They can go either directly to the administration of a municipality where they're planning to invest or arrange production, or they can go to the Corporation of Development of Udmurtia. Also, we have implemented an investment standard according to which in every municipality we have an authorized person for investment. In Bashkortostan, it's a business sheriff, and in our region, we call it investment authorized person. So I think we will give the floor to the head of the corporation of Mr. Mendiev. Yes, so let's give the floor to Mr. Farid Mendiev, the Director of Development. He has connected remotely. Your main tools of investor support, please share them. Maybe you have gotten rid of some tools which are not necessary, or maybe some of them you have introduced so that the colleagues could understand the experience of Udmurtia and could implement them in their regions. Greetings, dear colleagues.
Thank you for the floor, giving the floor. Probably I'm going to explain a little bit more carefully about. Here we have a lot of tools. As for today, we're implementing, try to go together with the time, try to modernize with the time. Can you please go to the next slide, please? I'd like to tell you about the Udmurtia region because we are neighbors and our colleagues from the other regions also listen to us, and we would like to explain more about Udmurtia. So Udmurtia takes good place in the geographically more than 42,000 square kilometers. That's our total area, and the VAT is up to 10 million up to 1 million, and the 1.5 millions population of Udmurtia, and more than 700,000 live in the capital of our region, in the city of Izhevsk. And we would like to share that we are in the top 3 in the indexes of the administrative input on the business, impact on the business, and the coming people arriving here to our republic are they won't affect our administrative barriers. So it's 2 hours from Moscow away by plane. Can we go to the next slide, please? But the key industries we would like to, the first one is the machinery industry. It's a military, armory production in Izhevsk city. 2% is of drones, also done in the capital of Udmurtia, and steel refinery, and etc. Can we go to the next slide? And I would like to also share with our famous people that we are proud of. Mikhail Timofeyevich Kalashnikov. He is famous for creating the assault machine gun and sniper rifles, and Petr Ilyich Tchaikovsky, a Russian composer and conductor. He was born in the Votkinsk city, in the industrial city. Final Frederic, I'm sorry, but we are running. We know everything about Udmurtia. Can we just explain us about the tools, because we are running out of time? Of course. Preferential zone is the territory of the development. Here we are try to make the works a lot of taxes and credits, and 24RZ that we came up with a good entrance fee for the investors and the tickets. We reduced it up to 1.5 million rubles, the investment projects, and in our 25 cities we reduced up to 15 million rubles. So entrance parameters are attract investors to Udmurtia region, and we have the 5 industrial parks. 2 of them are in the Ministry of Industry, and these are how do they look like. And in the project right now, we're forming special economy zones, Izhevsk city, and the residents also keep appearing, and they're expecting for the tax these benefits, and they will highly appreciate the economical zone. And we 40 of our investors where we made an agreement, it's 18 billion rubles, and 116 workplaces are to be created in the future. Can we move to the next slide, please? I will speak briefly. These are investment projects that we are having for today, and we do construction. It's 6 billions, 1 billion of done and PG. But in the frames of working as for today, we're forming the land on our own. As the corporation of the development, we have agreements on the forming of the lands, but the work on the from central list of the investors also have been created, and the federal list that would be approved by the government of the Udmurtia Republic. And we suggest you to visit the Udmurtia region. I'm not going to stop here fully. We're working in one direction, and our doors are always open for you, dear colleagues. So these are my contacts, and I will be your personal helper and assistant, and I will be guiding you here to our republic. So Gabasov in Turkey used to say that I'm your personal manager on here on the territory of Republic, and probably here it's almost the same. Well, thank you very much, Fanil Faritovich. Anna Nikolaevna Karabanova, deputy of the administrative, is a business sheriff of the Blagoveshchensk region. She also acts as a head of the region temporarily, but we know that she's one of the most successful business sheriffs that worries about her work, and we would like to hear you. And as you investors, it's understandable that the instruments and tools are inter-republican and inter-regional, and how do you attract the investors to your own region? Please, can you tell us about that more? Good day, dear participants. Yes, I am the business sheriff since 2019. For the last 3 months, I do act as I do act as a head deputy. And there are advantages like the location. We are located in the central part of the Republic of Bashkortostan, not far from Ufa, 35 kilometers to be precise. Of course, Blagoveshchensk is not a city in the Amur region. There is Amur also in Republic of Bashkortostan. We are the small city, industrial city, and we have developed machinery infrastructure. 22, we have the huge representative of the holdings, for example, Sibur Holding, Poliev Company. These are the only producers of the terephthalic acid in Russia, and also they create the food package. And so the average salary is 95,000 rubles. And beside these facts, we do implement into the standards as the business sheriff. We are the municipal authorities, and institution of the business sheriff was created, and our main task is to attract new investments and guide the projects themselves. So the business sheriff is the person who conducts all the business through all the branches and through all the departments with all the structures of developments, and we are aimed for the result and to all the projects that we are planning in the future. So if we speak visionarily, we're leading in the regional ratings. By the 2021-2022, we are in top 10 monocities of the city, according to 2021. And it's thanks to the development of our territory development and the territory of the overpassing the development. According to the valuation, we have the key indicators that shows, and because we have made an agreement with the Ministry of Commerce, and there are 34 of it, and the amount of investments is 62 billion. As for today, can you switch on the switch? Next slide, please. So these are entrepreneurial hours. Every Thursday we gather around with participants of the project, with investors. In bigger projects we put them on the investment level of the Republic of Bashkortostan, where we have a special treatment for them, and we have the state government support for them. And invest hours under the conduction of the Radi Khabirov. We do the investment agreements where we cover up all the rights and norms of the investors. Thank you very much. Can we switch on the next slide? So entrepreneur hours of industries, not only industrial formats. We have 63 municipal education areas, and our Prime Minister, Andrei Gennadievich Nazarov, told us we had to have a KPI on creating the objects of the road service objects. Tourists of our region would be able to stop and receive support and help, including the things like recreation. If we speak about the tourism, our city is industrial, and our business card of our city is the industrial tourism. And we work on this project really hard. And last year, more than 8,000 tourists arrived to our region, thanks to close location to Ufa, which is the capital of Republic of Bashkortostan. And we can say that Polyev has created first center of competence on the ecology, and Polyev, beside the fact that Polyev is the chemical industry, they also launched a project on the plastic granule production. They refined 1.7 billion plastic bottles all over from Russia. Now we have a lot of colleagues from other regions, and I would like to invite you as well to visit Blagoveshchensk and to get acquainted with our industrial potential. So if you what's concerning about the territory of development, in 3 years we have 12 industries launched, and of course we have a good result, and we have a place to grow. And can we proceed further? So these are been projects that launched in different industries. Construction industry. I would like to say that one of the most successful projects is the projects that released the breach bombs, 5SAM M12, their own production, and Razi beams. They invested more than 800 million rubles, and they gave also land, and the land was given without auction, and that decision was made this year. And personally, our residents received more than 70 hectares of land. And if you take a closer look, we have a lot of land to release their projects. As you can see, the Blagoveshchensk plant company, in 2 years, it moved from the middle sector, and it's soon to be turned to a huge sector business. And it will be one of the biggest taxpayers of our region. And we also launched a new construction, new logistic complex for the Ozone marketplace, huge warehouse in the Privolzhsk Federal Region, more than 200 square meters, and we hope that next year we'll give the launch, and they will create 1,400 workplaces will be created. Well, this is how we launch our projects. So, do you find it easy or not? What do you want to share your experience? Well, the business sheriff is a universal soldier who covers all the important questions like lending and etc. and etc. And we help to finance the projects in the technical connection of the project, and we do cover all the issues that concerns the project. So we have our competence. And how do you attract the investors? Do you go on field on your own, and can you share with a piece of advice? Yes, so we also have a website, and we also work closely with the ministry. We work with the inquiries, and we know what size do we have. We know what projects can we release and launch. That's the second. And of course, our advantage is in the close location to Ufa. Do you find investors on your own, or you receive them from different ministries of commerce? It happens in a different ways. You know, I don't have such a statistics, but usually they find us on our own. And so, well, thank you very much. Let's make it short. Anna Karabanova. Well, to be true, we are having the overtime since it's 3 days. It's the third day. And dear colleagues, if you have any questions, in 5-7 minutes, we'll try to receive all the answers. Well, I have something to add. In continuation of our dialogue as the business sheriff in Blagoveshchensk, I would like to say that many investment projects have their roots in the business community, because entrepreneurs being directed by the business sheriffs directly. So what's about the percentage ratio out of all the business sheriffs? Who are the best, and who you're working with? Ufa we work with practically with every business sheriff that is here. We spoke to Rustam Zifers, and he said that there is he have brought only five investors to Blagoveshchensk region. If you allow me, I'll give you a little comment, but I would like to say that truly business sheriff is a person who is invisible, but they do play the significant role. And to attract new investors, they do not only the regional authorities, because there is a macroeconomy from private to wholesome, and I think that institution plays a huge role in attraction of investors. Well, I'd like to thank also all the business sheriffs, because thanks to their work, first of all, we opened a lot of, and I'm the head of the women of business women, and we have 13. And they do work like universal soldiers, like the bees, and we have created many representative office, and they keep working. So let's please applause to them and thank them. So, dear colleagues, do you have any more questions or something to add? Yes, we do. So let's try. My name is Sergei Nichev. I'm the head of the Rostelecom. I would like to. I'm also a business sheriff, and we do cooperate actively. It happens mostly face-to-face on the territory. I would like to invite all the business sheriffs to our projects, because we're speaking about the investment projects and all the beginnings. So any industry that attracts investors, they need to create a project first, and only after the project of digital transformation. That's one of the biggest and most important agendas that keeps developing, and we would like to digital area transformation to be discussed. So that's why we would like to invite all the business sheriffs and in our project office, and will help to support and to bring new investments to the region. I will be very happy to see everyone. Thank you very much, Sergei Konstantinovich. So we need to understand the question. So thank you very much for being able to participate. And it's the third day today of International Business Week coming to an end. but International Business Week itself will continue up to 1st of December, but it will be probably offline, and I'll give the finishing words to on how useful was this section was. So I will thank you very much. You are one of the greatest partners who I'm glad to work with, and I think you know that for yourself. Thanks to your work and you opened elements on the different sites and even on today. So thank you very much. So dear friends, what we discussed today, that's something that is that is located on the edge. We would like to thank everyone for attracting. So everyone have in their own region they create future, and they create the future of their own republics. And it's important once we do it together, whether it's a business part of the work, industry part of the work, digital part of the work. We need to combine our forces and make our lives better and our work fruitful, and economy of our countries worked together smoothly. And I'm speaking about the citizens who live in different in these countries and in these republics. And from our point of view, we must do everything we can to help them. And I would like to thank everyone, and thanks to our foreign guests in the face of in the business of Turkey. Said something that we hope to work together, is that we have a motto, very good motto, and we repeat it all the time, together to the future, so we can move together and to the future only. So it's time to wrap it up, and we need to finish, and let's share our experiences and practices of how to make tomorrow better than it is today. So thank you very much, and we're expecting you here in Ufa once again. Thank you very much.